Alright, man. I'm not even going to do these halftime things every game. But that gotta be the biggest end to a half that we may see. This game was looking like the Bills was finna take control of the game. It was finna ease into the half. You get the fumble from James Cook. Amazing hit. They showed a stat of James Cook having 7 fumbles. Nobody else having over 4. That's a crazy stat. I be saying when they do these quarterback charts, I don't get why they don't show fumbles, because a lot of these guys run more than ever and a lot of these guys fumble more than ever. So when you're showing total touchdowns, you're showing total yards because all these guys run and they get rushing TDs, why are we not showing the way that you can turn over the ball? Especially when the fumble turnovers can be way more pivotal, because when you're throwing a pick, most of the time you're throwing down the field. When you're fumbling, you're most likely fumbling at that spot or even on a sack. So those can be even bigger turnovers than a pick. But got to give a lot of credit to the Broncos. The Broncos, they playing very, 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 very well offensively. Defensively, I'm going to be honest, I don't think they playing that well. I think the Bills moving the ball. They leaving points on the board. Got some wrong-headed turnovers. We will talk about that last turnover that there's trust to believe. But Bo Nix is playing very good. They're getting a lot of guys getting injured in this game early on. I think Mims got hurt. I know Troy Flanken got hurt. And I know Pat Bryant got hurt. He's not coming back in the game. So they got a lot of guys out. So a lot of those wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 level players I was saying outside of Sutton, where Sutton is like, I wouldn't say he's a full-on wide receiver 1, but he is by far their wide receiver 1. So they have a lot of guys kind of out right now in terms of that wide receiver room. They still got a really good O-line. I really like RJ Harvey. But for the most part, it was going to come down to if the Bills could score the ball on them. And I was going Josh Allen could do that. Now, the thing with the Bills is, offensively, first halves, they've not been that consistent. Second half, they've had a lot of big comebacks. When you think about the Patriots game, when you think about the Ravens game, when you think about a lot of their comebacks, Josh Allen had fantastic performances in those second halves. They're going to need another one of those. But I say all this to say, that two-play dynamic of Bo Nix throwing that touchdown, amazing play call, and then the Bills coming out, not needing it, as I thought was a good decision. I don't think you even question that decision, because Josh Allen doesn't run. I think he realizes when he's running, they have no timeouts. He has to get out of bounds. It genuinely looks like he's 10 yards down the field and he tries to spike the ball. I don't know what happens. It don't even look like it got stripped. It don't look like he tries to do anything else. Maybe he's trying to pitch it. But that might be actually the dumbest decision. And I just watched CJ Stroud on Monday Night Football go crazy. Like, I'm talking about, he would make a mistake in the same play, make another mistake that would lead to a worse mistake, that would lead to another worse mistake, all in one play. Like, he was just compounding mistakes on those turnovers. That play by Josh Allen was him making a good play on a questionable play call turn into an outrageous mental error. I don't know what that was. Genuinely, I don't know what that was. That could be genuinely the difference in this game, because the Bills all season, they have had to win the turnover battle. This is not the most talented team. I see a lot of people on Twitter talking about this, that, and the third. The talent is the offensive line, James Cook, Josh Allen. Both of those two guys have fumbled. How are they going to answer in the second half? This is a good defense. This is not a defense that you want to have to pass the ball on, in my opinion. I do think you can. I think, kind of like I was saying, Pat Surtain being, you know what I'm saying, on this team don't really do anything for the Bills, because the Bills don't have a real number 1 wide receiver. So it's just kind of what it is. But I'm going to be honest, man, that fumble at the end of the half was huge. Huge. So I don't know. They end up going down 20-10. This first half has not been that crazy exciting. I think it's been okay. But yeah, I think the Broncos started the game with the ball though. Let me make sure before we say that. I think like I said, I don't think that was a terrible decision. The Broncos did start the game with the ball, so that means the Bills was getting the ball second half. So that decision is much more crazy now, realizing that the Bills was getting the ball second half. hey, that's going to be something that could come back to haunt them. They've been able to run the ball. The turnovers are kind of killing them. Let's see how the second half go. Hey, man, this is why I do my halftime thing. Hey, I may got to do those more, bro. This game right here, I'm going to keep it a bean. This game right here, bro. I was finna come on here and say, bro, when it comes to building these teams, I'm gonna do a video on it still. These wide receivers looking a little different in the light in terms of the importance of how important it is. Think about all the top wide receivers in the league remaining. Come on, bro. It's really only the Rams that really depend on the wide receivers. The Bears kind of built their team, but if you have that level of quarterback, you don't really need wide receivers. You kind of seeing that. Sutton didn't even get a catch to the fourth quarter. That was like the best wide receiver in his game. Bro, and then, hey, bro, I'm going to keep the bean. I ain't going to lie. The Bills did all they could to lose this game. Hear me and hear me clearly. They come out in the second half, first play, fumble sack. Now, if you blaming Josh Allen for that, I'm going to keep you the bean. I know what you are. You just don't like Josh Allen, which is understandable. I ain't going to lie. Hey, Tony Romo, hey, if you don't like Josh Allen, watching this game, listening to Tony Romo, I know you were losing your shit. Bro was glazing at every opportunity possible. I don't know what bro was on. Genuinely, I don't know what bro was on today. He was tripping, bro. He threw a ball to Mecole Hardman into the ground. He said that was a perfect ball. Now, the things he may have been saying about Mecole Hardman might have been true, but even if he doesn't go up the field, that ball is into the ground regardless. It may be an easier catch, but that's not a perfect ball. Like, bro was he was tripping. Now, Josh Allen in the second half of that game was much better than he was in the first half. It's just the turnovers. And this is what I was going to come on here and say. Turnovers matter, but when you're a certain level of quarterback, and depending on the offense you're going against, it doesn't matter as much. The turnovers were the difference in this game. But the amount of opportunities they kept getting Josh Allen, it genuinely didn't matter because the Broncos, the only way they could score was turnovers. That's why they mattered. The Broncos weren't really scoring without the turnovers in this game. And I told y'all multiple times, the only way you beating this Bills team is if you putting up 30-plus points. They put up 30 points. Even with all them turnovers, Josh Allen left this game with 4 turnovers. Cook had a turnover, and they still got 30 points. They still got 30 points. But it just, you can't turn the ball over that much. The last pick of the game, hey, bro. Hey, listen, hear me. Now, I be telling y'all, when I'm watching these games, I try my hardest to be unbiased. And the only way I can do that is imagine that's my team. If that shit happened to Drake May tomorrow against the Texans, he throw a perfect ball in stride, the man catch it, go to the ground, he can't survive the ground, he take it. I'm gonna keep it a bean. In my eyes, based on the stupid calls I done seen, where if somebody goes to the ground and they always say 50-50 go to the receiver. I seen a play against the Bills where my team literally caught the pick. The wide receiver never had the ball, and they said the wide receiver caught it. They said he caught it. Not only was it a pass interference, but he caught it. If that happens to my team tomorrow, I will lose my mind. I understand. Josh Allen got a lot of haters. Today, he played as bad of a playoff game that he has probably ever played. While he still had some crazy moments. Like the throw on the sideline to Brandon Cook with the game on the line was ridiculous. Brandon Cook gets a foot down, his hand is out of bounds. Josh Allen had some crazy plays in this game. But that play at the end of the half was one of the dumbest plays I have ever seen. The play where he throws a pick in the second half, that really wasn't that bad. That was a great play by the DB. It was probably a bad decision by Josh Allen, but the throw wasn't that bad. Like, he hits the guy in stride. It's just the DB just comes over perfectly. And that's what that defense can do. But like I said, this Broncos defense is good, but it's not on the level of that Texans defense. It's just, you can kind of see it, bro. The Bills were moving the ball consistently. The only time they really got stopped in this game was the turnovers. And that was the difference between them moving on in this round and losing. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie, Bo Nix had a good game, but this showcased how inconsistent a lot of the quarterback play is. And this is what I'm saying when it comes to the turnovers. Bro, the turnovers are huge. Turning the ball over is huge. But what comes down at the end of the day, what's more important is the margin for error. Josh Allen, margin for error, even with all these turnovers, was ridiculous because that offense for the Broncos was so inconsistent. When it mattered most, in the fourth quarter, they had to go down the field. They did it. In overtime, they got the ball first. They couldn't do nothing. They literally was finna lose the game. I genuinely can't believe that's how that game ends. Then the Broncos get the ball. Now, again, back again to trying to be unbiased. If my team goes out there after that play and proceeds to get a pass interference, that's questionable. But to make sure that it is a flag, we making sure that it's not even questionable if we hit them late. Crazy. They in field goal range. Okay. To then go out and get another pass interference. Again, questionable. If that happens to my team, I'm losing my mind. Genuinely losing my mind. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Hey, I genuinely think, like, people they gonna talk about Josh Allen. They gonna talk about Cook. They gonna do all these things they want to talk about. Hey, bro, the Bills organization might be cursed, bro. Like, I be talking about the Bears with the quarterback shit. I be talking about some different teams with this bro. The Bills, just think about their history. They made it to 4 straight Super Bowls. They didn't win one. All the quarterbacks in the league, in terms of the people that are known. Now, I'm gonna keep it being. The people are like saying no Josh Allen, no Joe Burrow, no Lamar, no Mahomes. All them guys were not good this year. They had bad years for their season. Burrow missed half the season. Lamar been in and out the lineup. Even when he was playing, he wasn't that good. And Mahomes, he had probably one of his worst clutch seasons of his career. Those guys were not to the same caliber of what they've been. So I still don't believe that Josh Allen should get more hate than them for losing in the playoffs than them for not making the playoffs at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, he did lose. And this is not one of them games you can blame the defense. The defense gave up 30 points, but pretty much every single point the Broncos scored came off of a turnover. Man, that is a tough L, especially when you realize you lose the game by 3. At the end of the game, you're down 3. You have to go down to get 3 to tie the game. You gave up literally at the end of the first half. You have one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen in life. They get 3 points off that. Bro, just think about the butterfly effect that has in the end of the second half, in overtime to win the game. Just think about all the things that happened after that. Now, another very underrated thing in this game that a lot of people are not going to talk about, which is why I'm saying turnovers, people only look at turnovers. The bigger play in this game was the play at the end of the fourth quarter, the drive before the last drive, where the Bills are going down the field. They have a 1-point game. They being a little conservative. Second down, he's throwing on the run to Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel's wide open. He can walk in for a touchdown. He misses him. Okay. Third down, he throws the ball to Shakir. It's kind of in the dirt. Shakir kind of drops it. He ends up catching it and goes in for a touchdown. Those 2 plays are huge because they end up going to get a field goal. Broncos come down and get a touchdown. Then, after that, Josh Allen misses 2 guys twice again at the end of that drive, but they still get the field goal. Okay, I honestly had no faith in him making that field goal. Bro, when it comes to margin for errors, bro, that's the biggest thing in the league. I don't like when people just try to say it's one play that changed the game, but I ain't gonna lie. This game, it genuinely came down to one play. And the one play I'ma say is definitely that game at the end of the first half. That play at the end of the first half, that play is crazy. That play is not a play you can have, bro. And I still think Josh Allen probably is the best player in the league. But the only other person I would even say is in that convo is Myles Garrett. He not even in the playoffs because his offense is that bad. So I don't know, bro. The league is in a very weird space. And the reason why I think the turnovers don't matter as much because the quarterback play in the league right now is just inconsistent. Bro, Nix had a very good game today. But he was very inconsistent in this game throughout the game. So I don't know. RJ had a really big play on that last drive, but for the game to come down to a catch going into a pick, then 2 PIs, that's how the end of the game happened. For that game was fantastic. Hey, if I'm a Bills fan, if I'm trying to just imagine myself, if that's how I lose, that's how my season ends. Imagine yourself as a player. Oh, bro. Oh, man, that is crazy. That is a crazy, crazy, crazy L, bro. We got more games to talk about. Man, hey, this is shaping up very well for the Patriots, though. That's what I will say. Because like I said, the team I least wanted to play was the Bills, because I do think to beat the Patriots, most likely you have to score 30 points. Now, against the Texans, that's a different reality. I think the Patriots need to score 20 to win. That should be their goal. 30 is not really. If they trying to score 30, they probably won. But if they can get 20, I think we got a fair chance. When it comes to that NFC, we finna get into this 49ers Seahawks game. This is part 3. I just cannot believe that's how that game ended, man. We're gonna get a. Hey, y'all see me when y'all see me. Okay, we at. Let me see. I don't think it's quite at halftime. It's not really much to talk about in this Seahawks 49ers game, bro. Honestly, bro, they had the little reports coming out with Sam Darnold and the injury, but I'm gonna give you the bean, bro. The injury is just stacking up to the 49ers. People gonna be getting on Brock Purdy crazy. Won't lie. It what it is. I'm kind of over the Brock Purdy hate shit, to be honest. I know I'm a contrarian. I be trying to defend some of these shits. It what it is. But more to talk about in this Bills game. Now, I be talking about it a lot when it comes to Mahomes and Josh Allen. I talked about it even a little bit earlier. Mahomes had a really uncharacteristic, not that clutch season for his standards. But think about in the playoffs when it comes to Josh Allen. He can't beat Mahomes. He showcased when Mahomes is not there. The difference between him again today, he's not clutch. Now, that's not what we trying to come back to talk about. I wanted to make sure I did keep it consistent with the Mahomes-Josh Allen combo. The Broncos win this game. Now, it was a dirty play at the end of the game. I noticed it. I didn't talk about it because it's like, you move on to the next game. They just trying to fight to the next play. You know what I'm saying? The game on the line. This first down, they needing the ball. They pissed. Especially after a crazy flag like that was questionable at the time. It's very understandable to be pissed. But Bo Nix fractures his ankle. He's out for the remaining playoffs. That is huge. Huge. So the Broncos going to win this game, and this is just tying into the Bills' just curse. Because, bro, they do all this in this game, deserve to lose, and still had a chance to win, just to lose to a team that no matter what pretty much happens after this, they're probably going to lose because their quarterback is now injured for the rest of the playoffs. Unbelievable. Actually unbelievable. He gets injured the last snap he plays in the entire game. Just actually unbelievable. I cannot even imagine being a Bills. Like, Jalen, I cannot imagine being a Bills fan right now, bro. Actually, the most diabolical ending to a season you probably could have had. Bro, yeah. But, hey, Broncos fans, I don't know, bro. I was saying, when it comes to the Bills, I'd probably rather get blown out to my homie that. I'd probably rather get blown out than lose like that, bro. For go down, going into a pick, you know what I'm saying? He just takes the ball away from him. 2 pass interferences. I'd damn near rather get blown out than lose like that, bro. But I'm looking at it with the Seahawks and the 49ers. I don't know. But, hey, man, regardless, bro, having a great season. Apparently, the Falcons are hiring Kevin Stefanski. Interesting. So, the Falcons hiring Kevin Stefanski. That's happening live while I'm recording this. Very, very interesting. It really wasn't. It's not a lot of coaching candidates I've been paying attention to that. I thought the Falcons actually probably had the best coaching opportunity. It was them or the Giants to me. You could throw in the Ravens there too, but they have a lot higher expectation. You think about how bad that division is year in, year out in the NFC South. That is an opportunity to be taken right there. So I'm actually interested in that. He's going from one of the hardest divisions in football to probably the easiest division in football with a lot of talent over there. So that's very interesting to me. But yeah, Broncos, man, very unfortunate situation what's going down. And that's all I had to really say. All right, this is what I'm going to say, bro. The game not over. 7 minutes left. This is not Brady. This is not Mahomes. This is not none of those top-tier quarterbacks. This game is over. 49ers, I said it at half. Hey, bro, y'all had a great season for what has happened to y'all. People going to kill Purdy. That's just how it is, bro, when it comes to these reactionary people, bro. The team been injured all year. He had a good stretch of games when he came back. Then he had the game against the Seahawks. Struggled. He had a couple picks to end the year in some of these games, but it didn't matter because he was scoring points consistently. These last 2 games against Baby Belichick, which we gonna get into, you can't really grade them too harshly because, in my opinion, all the injuries that they dealt with, O-line, weapons, it's just not been great. For them to be where they are, this is why I had Shanahan as the coach of the year. If the Bears win tomorrow, my opinion on that might change, to be honest. Because if we talk about who actually is the best coach this year, you could really put a case together that the Bears should get it, or McVay, or even Baby Belichick. But honestly, today was not a story about the 49ers offensively, defensively. Fred Warner was saying that if he could get to the divisional, he would play. He didn't play. Kittle gets hurt last week. He tore his Achilles. It's just, bro, the injuries stacking up. CMC gets hurt in this game. They already subbed out Sam Darnold. When it comes to the Seahawks, like I said, bro, I think that they peaked at the wrong time in the season. I'm saying that because offensively, there was a point in time where this team was getting 35 plus points every game. Then they go and play the Rams. Sam Darnold has 4 picks. The rest is history. The way that they won today, and there's some things that actually added to it that may make the situation a lot easier for them to be able to move the ball consistently. There's now 2 games they played the 49ers. They ran all over them. 2 games. You kind of, if you're an Eagles fan, you kind of question, how the hell could we not do this? I would say it's probably more so your defense is not the caliber of this, which people would say the OC, but your DC, Vic Fangio, I like him. I actually think he's good, but he's not Baby Belichick. You don't get that name for no reason. At a certain point, conversations need to be had. Second half of games, this brother don't allow points. This is the 3rd game in a row in a playoff game he has coached defensively. They have not allowed points in the second half. We don't even got to talk about the first half because it's already a struggle in general to score in this team. If this defense is playing like this, and I'm telling you right now, I don't think it got a lot of talent still. I think it's in terms of top end. I know Devin Witherspoon made an All-Pro. I don't think he was a top 4 corner this year. I think that he was the best corner on the team. I don't think he's a top 4 corner this year in the league. But I'm not mad at it. Amon Wari, I think that might be their best DB, the rookie. I said he was the rookie of the year. I think that's the real most talented player outside anybody in that front 3 in terms of the D-line. Personally, for me, I think they got a lot of good players, but I don't think they got like no all-pro caliber guys, in my opinion. But what Baby Belichick doing to teams, bro, hey, if the Bears win that game, you can damn near seal it. That's going to be cinema. Ben Johnson versus Baby Belichick, I need it. Last year he was with the Lions versus the Seahawks. He was torching them, by the way. So that'll be very, very interesting to see that. But either way, cinema. McVay Part 3 coming down to the final play every single game. Cinema. It's no matter what happens in the NFC, we getting cinema. AFC, whoever wins that Texans Patriots game, they going to the Super Bowl. Sorry to say it, Broncos fan. If Jarrett Stidham beat either one of those teams, we got a Nick Foles, Carson Wentz situation all over again. Cause that's crazy. I just don't see how that's possible. But if that does, hey, that's insane. But if the Seahawks can run the ball like this, Charbonnet gets injured, I think that they have 2 volume running backs. I said during the season, if you playing fantasy football, you don't root for people to get injured. But if one of these guys get injured, you got a league winner. It just so happened. It happened in the playoffs. And honestly, I think it does improve their offense if they only have one of them. So I don't think it should be an injury. I think they should just move one of them. Now, the thing is, if you move one of them, what if the person that you keep gets injured? That's the dilemma where having both is better than having neither. You know? But in the end of the day, I think that they're in prime position to keep moving because if they can score kick returns, if the defense is not going to be allowing points, you can't get TDs on them, it's going to be a tough team to beat. Whether you want to talk about the Texans, I don't know why I was trying to say the Titans. I'm trying to top myself from saying the Titans, the Patriots, the Bears, the Rams. Let's go ahead and even put the Seahawks into the next round, bro. That was a great win. And the Sam Darnold situation, I'm still not believing in it, bro. You can see it, bro. He just popping up on the injury report. The closer you get to his body was seeing ghosts. Genuinely seeing ghosts. Body was seeing ghosts. You have pretty much the perfect game script for Sam Darnold to get his first playoff win today. And I was seeing people were saying that Drew Lock was going to start. If Drew Lock started today, that would have killed that man's confidence. And they probably still could have won this game with Drew Lock. I'm not going to lie. This game, it didn't really matter the way this game went. But honestly, bro, hey, this is the second game in a row Shanahan just got thoroughly outcoached. But how much can you say, bro? The talent on that offense is just not up to par in terms of the injuries that they have built up together. I seen a thing about the top 10 players in this game, by the way. I don't know what NFL 2000. This is what I was saying in that video with Cam Newton. We are in 2026, brother. Like, you putting Aaron Rodgers in elite conversations. You just set that man up for failure. Bro is 41 years old. We are in 2026. Trent Williams ain't been the best tackler in football for 2 years. We are in 2026. CMC got a lot of crazy stats, but it's more so volume. He ain't been good running all year. He more so better as a pass catcher. We are in 2026. You cannot keep overrating these guys. Now, the thing that's very scary, if you watching this, anybody outside the Seahawks, if you any other team, JSN ain't have to do nothing in this game. And they destroyed these people. They still got that weapon over there. So, but Sam Darnold got to get it to him. So, we'll see. Very interesting game. Not much to say about anything else. But yeah, let's keep it moving. All right. Patriots, Texans. It's going about as good as I possibly could have hoped, honestly. Even for me as a Drake Maye fan. I kind of felt like this was going to be a struggle game. Drake Maye got small hands. They go for the ball. They don't really go for sacks. They go for the ball. That's a weakness. That's definitely a weakness of Drake Maye. The fumbles in the thing. But we've done a good job on that. Now, the only thing I say of the Patriots that you can really look at, the last drive just felt like it was just a troll Drake Maye stats drive. I ain't gonna lie, so I don't really even regard the pick. But the fumble where it was a broken play right after a pick in the first quarter. Now, I think Ramondre comes out the game. I don't think we've seen him another play after that. I think he might have went back out there for another snap, but he has an eye issue. And you seen him on the sideline, he couldn't see. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what, I think it was him. But that was bad. A broken play, matters go worse. Drake may end up fumbling. That we can't have that. We can't. And that they end up getting a touchdown right after that. So it's 21-10 with this defense. I'm being real with the way that they got Drake Maye fumbling in the pocket. We can't really run the ball right now with Hendo and all these fantasy gurus. If you're wondering why Ramondre Stevenson play, look at Ramondre Stevenson last week. Look at Ramondre Stevenson end of the season. Look at Ramondre Stevenson early in this game. He was the only person that we really had moving the ball for us in the run game, fighting for extra yards. Hopefully Hendo can break off a run. That's really our only hope right now in the run game. But we're going to have to be able to run this ball, because if we cannot keep them honest and we have to throw the ball every single time, they're going to be able to pin their ears back and go after Drake Maye every single play. But I think Drake Maye not having a good game. And everybody is doing these little, I'm seeing all the Lamar fans. Hey, my whole timeline, I told y'all this was going to get crazy. The whole timeline, Lamar, Mahomes fans. I'm seeing people talk about Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix was good, but I see somebody say he had the best performance in the AFC quarterback playoff history, because I guess Brady left, and then I don't know how they was getting that one off. That was stupid. That was just straight up dumb. I don't think he was that good. He was good. The only time he really scored was off turnovers. He took advantage of the turnovers. You gotta give him credit for that. When it comes to the Bills, though, bro, they had 5 turnovers in the game. They did all they could to pretty much lose that game, genuinely. When you look at this game, you could make the excuses for some of them Josh Allen turnovers in terms of they're not his fault every single one. This game, now I won't lie, the one play where the man dropped the ball to go straight to the DB, that's not on Stroud. But bro, some of these plays, it's not even like the pick 6. You like, oh, this a broken play, incomplete. Oh, it's a sack. Oh, it's a pick. Oh, it's a pick 6. Like, it just got worse and worse and worse. Like, it literally looked at first that the worst that could happen on that play was a sack. Now, this is the same thing I said about last week. If you watch the game against the Chargers, we got no pressure on the quarterback when we only send 4. The only time we did is internally. But it wouldn't matter because Herbert could just get out the pocket easily because we had no contain and the edge did nothing. Same thing in this game. If you're watching, the thing that you got to get a credit to for the Patriots is the coaching so far that they've had in this game to realize that these guys not getting pressure. So we got to send pressure. Simple as that. So they've been doing that. It's been working. It's getting on Stroud. They keep doing that. Like I said, the goal was to score 20. I think Stroud got probably one more scoring drive in him. We just got to make sure that we don't turn the ball over. It's going to be tough, bro, against this defense. And like I said, getting 20 points is a tough ask. And I was saying, bro, you got to think about they may score points because we may be turning the ball over. This was a bad matchup, like I said earlier. Like Drake Maye with the small hands, fumble. He leads the league in fumbles. It's not like people be thinking I'm talking only in bias. When I'm on these videos, I'm not doing no bias, bro. With these quarterbacks running the way they do, fumbles should be part of the stats of turnovers, bro. Like, it should just be turnovers. It shouldn't be INTs. Turnovers are turnovers. And fumbles damn near be worse than picks. But the way Stroud playing right now, bro, I'm keeping it bean, bro. Like, I guess this is the reality sinking in. I was seeing people say that Stroud is just a winner. They was doing the Jalen Hurts stuff. I'm keeping it bean, bro. Like, the way the league is right now, it's a clear thing. Think about all the guys that's not in the playoffs. People want to talk about Josh Allen got the easiest road, but the league is going away from elite quarterbacks and it's going more so to elite teams, especially with how good these offensive schemes are and how good these defensive schemes are getting. So I'm just saying, bro, like you can't just base it off of that guy, the marquee guys. Like I kind of was disrespecting the Seahawks a little bit what I was saying, but what I was more so saying is there's not really a focal point on that defense. It wasn't that they don't have all pro players. I think I misspoke on that part, but I'm saying they don't have a focal point on their defense that you have to key in and avoid. They whole defense functions as a team. It's a working unit, and it's really more so McDonald that's making that whole thing look as good as it is. But if he wasn't there, it would still be good. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but he is improving a lot of it, in my opinion. So I do think that this is very interesting in terms of how the first half went so far. I think that the first drive that the Patriots went down the field on, I'm gonna keep it being. That's all we need, Drake. Just give us one more drive like that. I hope we could have got one more at the end of the half because they do get ball second half. But if we could have got one more drive like that, bro, before the half, just got a field goal or something, I would be a little bit more confident right now. 14-point lead against the Texans. This defense could get them easy scoring opportunity at any given moment. We got our running back already out, so I don't really believe in our run game. Now, I won't lie to Texans. Like, a lot of people gonna talk about Stroud, how bad he playing, and he's playing bad regardless what's out there. But his O-line is going down. He got no Nico Collins. Woody Marks, he got like a record for the most games exiting in a row. It's a lot going on with the Texans, but Stroud, he ain't doing his team no favors. I don't think people should overreact. I'm seeing people say should they give him a contract. I don't think they should give him a big contract because regardless if they winning, it's not going to be because of him. It's going to be because of the defense. Like, he's getting turnovers and the defense is just playing phenomenal, bro. And the thing I've been saying about the Texans when you compare them to other teams, it's hard to compare them to teams like the Seahawks and the Browns because the Browns have the talent of the Texans, but they have a better scheme. The Seahawks don't have the talent of the Texans, but they have a much better scheme. But the Texans, their scheme is not that good. So when I see people glaze DeMeco Ryans, I think he's a good coach. He's nothing special, though. You know, I think he's a good coach. They just got ridiculous talent. And that first touchdown that you seen that the Patriots got was a clear example of how you can kind of beat them. Because what they'll do is they'll do gimmicks where they try to get pressure just to get pressure. And they don't even try to disguise anything on the back end. They just pretty much did regular cover zero man coverage on the back end. Now, I ain't going to lie. The DB actually made a good play on the ball. He tipped it. It was just a good catch. It was a good throw. It's just what it was. But that if you've seen when they send four, they get pressure. Campbell is in hell right now. He is struggling mightily. So that's looking very crazy right now. That left tackle situation, like Hunter, Anderson, they teeing off for him. It's just what it is. They get into the quarterback. And the thing that I really noticed, Stroud had a play where he had a lineman right in front of him. The lineman don't even put a hand up. You could even throw a flat for a late hit. He just tries to wrap him up. You see every single time that they getting a hit on Drake Maye, they not even trying to touch Drake Maye. They going straight for the ball. They even had a play where right before he fumbles, I think it was a sack fumble or something like that. Right before that, it was a play where they tipped it at the line. And and he had guys wide open underneath, but he also had Diggs open in the middle of the field. So the D line right now for them is really carrying hard because I don't think they DB's having the best game outside of last year. honestly. And I do think if they put Bullock more so in a zone, more so than trying to put him in man as much, that would be probably doing them more wonder in terms of just playing cover one. Drake Maye, you could say he had a little bit of a miss on Kyle Williams up the sideline. That could have been a touchdown, but I do think that wasn't as bad of a throw. He should have probably caught that. That continues that drive. But all in all, the defense so far, I'm going to be honest, the Patriots defense, to start the game, it was rocky. They had the Stroud misthrow, then they have a drop on a wide open play. It's been a couple plays where they had some open guys, the Texans, and you know what I'm saying? I think that the picks, you got to give credit to the defense for making the plays, but Stroud is off. It's been that bad, honestly. So I don't know how much credit to really give the Patriots for anything in this game. Honestly, it really feel like the Texans more so beating themselves, because I think the best side of football in this game so far has been the Texans defense. I just think the Stroud has just been that bad that our defense might just be overshadowing what they're doing to us off the turnovers. So I talk about margins for errors all the time in terms of the what's it called, but what the defense is giving Stroud right now is ridiculous. But what Stroud is giving the defense is awful. Awful. So I think the Patriots just playing a little bit more complete football right now. They had 2 good sustained drives. They got touchdowns off of it. Y'all remember what I said. We gonna need 4 scoring drives in this game. We already got 2. The defense spotted us some points. We get 2 more scoring drives. That's the game, bro. That's the game. Whether it's field goals or not, that should be the game. So looking good so far. We just gotta finish the job. Let's get to the second half. Let's go ahead and move them teams on. Yes, we have it finalized. Now, I talked about the Patriots game at half. Hey, man, I'm going to keep it bean, bro. I told y'all, bro. Y'all be watching these predictions. I'm cooking. The Bills game ain't really my fault. 49ers versus Eagles, that's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? That was not my faults. Keep the bean. Josh Allen throwing 4 picks, getting 30 points, and still losing. Like, the 4 picks, the James Cook fumble, everything that could go wrong for the Bills went wrong. Like the pick where you got bro catching the ball and whatever, James Cook, or whatever Cook, whatever bro name is, he catch the ball, he go to the ground. Every single time I seen it be a 50-50 like that. 50-50 go to the wide receiver. That's a pick. I ain't even caring about that. I seen Sherman talking about it. I ain't gonna lie. I was on the other end of the spectrum with that. I talked about it already. But I know everybody want to get their rocks off on Josh Allen. But why is nobody? I ain't gonna lie. I'm seeing people talk about, you either got people that's for Josh Allen or against Josh Allen. Why the hell is the entire conversation about this game only about Josh Allen and the Bills? Like, either you talking about some of the flags that was questionable, or you talking about how bad Josh Allen was, or you talking about him in the press conference. I ain't even seeing people talk about the fact that Bo Nix injured. I'm not seeing people talk. If I see people talk about the fact Bo Nix injured, it's about the Patriots got the easiest road to a Super Bowl. Bro, I'm not seeing nobody talk about the performance from the Broncos defense. That pick, that first pick, the second pick, I don't blame Josh Allen for. The first pick, bad decision, but that's a hell of a play by the DB. The fact that nobody giving the DB credit for that. Now, first fumble, like I said, outrageous. Second, bro, pass rush made a play. Now, I'm going to keep it being. We're going to talk about it. Drake Maye ends this game with 4 fumbles. He loses 2 of them. Are all those fumbles his fault? Hey, look at me with a straight face. All those fumbles his fault. Depending on what you say, hey, you got it, bro. Hey, shout out Will Campbell, bro. Everybody that was warning us before the draft, don't take Will Campbell. He's not a left tackle. We take him at 4. Season went on. I'm like, bro, 10 kind of nice. Will Campbell, he was kind of good, but he coming back from this injury, he ain't been great. He been bad these last 2 games. He's been bad. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. OA goes out there and gets 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Okay, I mean, what we doing here? The next game, Will Anderson. That's Will Anderson. Daniel Hunter even got a piece on him. Bro, he's struggling, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Morgan Moses today was much better than he was last week. I'm kind of concerned with that against this Broncos team. I don't think they have the level of edge rushers, but they have, like, people is really undermining this Patriots run right now because Drake Maye is not playing the same level. I think Drake Maye, you watch these games, you see the difference in these games is coming down to those drives. First game, he didn't have to do too much in that game. Herbert was awful in that game. As the game went on, the team blitzed more, the worse he got. It's just what it was. On the flip side, Drake Maye didn't have to have but 1 good drive, and that was the difference in the game. Simple as that. Defense was really the key figure of that game. You could say for even the Chargers, they was very good defensively. This second game, the Texans going into it this whole week, I don't know why people are acting like difference. Like, I don't see people, like, you can say the Texans wasn't favored. That's crazy to me, personally. But I seen so many people saying this shit free brand. I'm seeing people say the Texans, the whole ESPN. I don't even watch ESPN. I seen this come across my thing. They picked up the Texans. I seen another show. They all picked the Texans. I'm gonna give it a bean, bro. I don't understand why people been trying to discredit the Patriots all season. They said we was gonna lose to the Chargers. The Chargers and the Bills was both trying to play us in the first round because we was the easy matchup. The Chargers go out there and play us. They literally, it was 16-3, but that's as big of a blowout as a 16-3 can possibly be. Then you got the game against the Texans. The Patriots had control of the game the whole way. They literally trolled after the pick when we have a broken play and it's a fumble. That's the only fumble or turnover I give to Drake because that was a legit great play by the defender and he got to hold on to the ball there. I think on them throws in the pocket, I don't really know, bro, because it's like a blind. That's why left tackle is so important. It's a blind side, and like I said at half, they not going for sacks. They going for the ball every time. And that's just what Drake may struggle with. If there's a real struggle, it's not even decision making at this point. It's literally just that in the pocket. In our O-line, in the regular season, it was nowhere near this bad. I was saying it's not as good as people acting like. Bro, they are showcasing in the playoffs right now. It's rough. But the thing in this game, again, first game, we didn't have to have but one. This game, we had to have more. We had 3 big drives. Outside them 3 drives, we did nothing offensively. But them 3 drives, I said it before this game. We was driving down the field multiple times against the Chargers, but we wasn't getting the points at the end of the drive. This game, we was getting the touchdowns at the end of these drives, and that was really huge in terms of us being able to smoothly win this game. Now, next week, we play the Broncos. Gonna be an easier opponent because the defense is not the level of the Texans. Stroud was bad. Herbert was bad. Stidham is not as good as them. But I'm not gonna lie. It is something about playing up to guys. I think if you watch this game, Stroud was bad. His wide receiver was just as bad. Like, it was a lot of drops. It was a lot of missed throws. It was a lot of bad blocking. There's a lot of backups. You gotta get to this Texans. But the defense the Texans played today was fantastic. I'm seeing people talking about, even Patriots fans underrating them. Bro, we had 3 legit good drives for an entire game. We had 14 drives in the game. All them turnovers he had, we had 3 good drives in the whole game. Like, I think people just don't really understand how good this Texans defense is, man. That is ridiculous, bro. The issue was that we was getting touchdowns at the end of those drives. Now, I mentioned this. Stingley over Gonzo, bro. If you watch this game and came away from this saying Stingley better than Gonzo, I'm sorry, bro. I don't see what you see, bro. Simple as that, bro. Gonzo is ridiculous. It's genuine. I don't know why we targeting running backs 3rd or 4th down with Gonzo guard. I don't know why we targeting Gonzo in general. Just target CD. You either gonna get a flag or a catch. Simple as that. That's the motto. Now, I ain't gonna lie, MJ, if you got a bigger guy on him, you can do it. You kind of seen that with the touchdown that they did get in the entire game, which was more so off our fumble that we kind of had gave the ball back to them after they gave us the ball. But yeah, man, MJ had a great game today. MJ had a great game. Bang Bros, they was kind of quiet today, but we was able to get pressure. We still had the blitz, which is kind of concerning with how bad that O-line is, but that's going to be a big matchup versus the Broncos because the Broncos O-line is by far and away the best O-line we played so far in the playoffs. By far and away. One of the 3 best O-line in football this year, so we'll see. We'll talk about that when we get there. But then we got the Rams and the Bears. This game was way worse than I expected in terms of offense. I thought this was going to be high-powered, high-action, but is it a bad game? No. Very good game. Very enjoyable game. At the end of the day, bro, scoring points is not the only way a game can be good. This was as good of a low-scoring game as you possibly could have. Now, the quarterback play in this game was pretty bad, surprisingly. It's been pretty bad quarterback play in these games, honestly. That's the weird. And I kind of said this a lot this year. The quarterback play in the league, like people talking about Drake Maye, people talking about Caleb with the quarterback play in the league this year is bad. Outside that first drive, Stafford was inconsistent. And you can see it. First drive when they sent blitzes, they had it. That first drive, if you know anything about football, teams have scripts, so they have plans for what they gonna do on these drives, especially according to what the defense give them. After that scripted first drive, he struggled. Stafford surely struggled. Anytime they got pressure, he just struggled. So that's the key to beat them. I don't think they O-line as good as like the Broncos, but they have one of the better O-lines, especially remaining. I thought the Bears defense had as good of a game as you possibly could. I will say this for Caleb. I do think Ben Johnson had probably his worst game of the season at the worst time because this Rams, like the people was open regardless with Caleb. Caleb was just missing some guys at points. We're going to get into it. Don't worry. But Ben Johnson, especially second half, it was rocky. I don't think he had the best second half. I think he could have been better. He left some points on the board that kind of came back to bite them. Honestly, in the time, you got to go for it. We're going against the Rams. They going to score points. They not scoring points, though. So that came back to really bite them. So, I don't know. It's kind of a give and take, the aggressiveness. It's kind of the same thing with the Josh Allen. People saying, Josh Allen got to be a superhero to win these games. No, the hell he don't, because he had 4 picks. Bro, I hate to break this to y'all. When it comes to a player like Josh Allen, the reason why y'all had these narratives about turnovers is because when a player is that good, it's a lot of risk and reward. Like, when they having to do so much, because it's not like he has a star wide receiver or nothing. This is a guy that his O-line is good. Sometimes he got to buy time. Sometimes he got to run. Sometimes he got to make throws that's in very tight windows. And when he's having to run, sometimes you're going to fumble. When you have to buy time, sometimes you're going to make a mistake. Sometimes you're going to be under pressure more. Sometimes when you're throwing into tight coverage, it's going to be a pick. Especially if you play those margins. You playing a bad defense, you're going to be able to get away with a lot of stuff he was doing in that Broncos game. Some of those may not be turnovers. Some of those may just hit the ground. Some of those just might not be caught. But he's playing the Broncos defense. They're taking advantage of it. It's risk reward at the end of the day. And that's kind of what I'm saying with this margin for error team building stuff. It's getting away from you be able to depend on these teams. You kind of seen this last year in the playoffs. And I think people kind of forget this. Pat Mahomes, a lot of people put him in Brady conversations, the best quarterback of this era. He couldn't even get past the 50-yard line until the third quarter, and the game was long over. Like, the Eagles had a ridiculously good team. The Chiefs had a good team last year, but the Chiefs' margin for error last year offensively was big, but you could see the defense wasn't as good as the year before that. You know what I'm saying? Like, as they was getting more into the offense, the defense was getting worse. So the margin for error the offense had, if the offense wasn't producing the way it should be, then you could kind of get at that defense more. And the Eagles was playing very good, especially Hurts. So it's getting away from you can depend on these top tier quarterbacks because these schemes are better than ever. These teams, in terms of the way that they're built, they're smarter than ever in terms of how you build them. And a lot of these players and teams is a lot more scheme dependent, talent dependent, instead of just quarterback dependent now. So it's just what it is. I think the Bears are building a very good team. I think that Caleb didn't have a good game. It's just what it is. But let's talk about it. Hey, Caleb, if he would have gone on to win this game, those are the plays that get players overrated. That throw against the Packers, I still think is a better throw. Especially with the fact that they did win the game. But the fact, just think about all the things on the line. About 4 guys, you got to run all the way back to the 40-yard line. It's not as much on the back foot, but it is on the back foot. And you got to throw it 40 yards. Now, I won't lie, the DB, whether you want to talk about him getting pushed off, his awareness to where the ball was pretty bad still. Probably should have been a flag, but ain't no way after that Bills game you can let it even be coming down the flag. Now, I guess you could say if you don't throw the flag, it's still coming down the flag because that's a flag. Because that was a flag. I'm not going to lie. But I'd rather it not be a flag than it be a flag. It's like at the end of the game in the NBA. You don't want it to come down to free throws. You want it to, come on, bro. Simple as that. So, I think that the Bears, man, coaching-wise, I think that this was his worst coach game. But the last drive of the game, Ben Johnson was fantastic. Like, the play where they ran, the ball was, insane play call, but it worked. Like, Ben Johnson was very good in this game. Even though second half he had probably his rockiest half of the season, but that's just how good he's been this year. But defensively, that was the reason why they was in the game. Defensively, they was very good. But Caleb, very clutch player, bro. Just a very clutch player. I keep telling y'all, bro. Tell Caleb it is fourth quarter, fourth down, overtime at the beginning of the game. Now, overtime, he throws another crazy pick. The pick in the beginning of the game was very crazy pick. I thought he got tipped. Watched it. He just overthrew, bro. Pick at the end of the game was awful. That literally lost him the game. They only needed a couple more yards to be in field goal range and be going into the championship. So, Bears, y'all got to handle that one. It's just what it is. I think, bro, I'm going to keep it mean. If there's still questions about your quarterback, that's just hate. I be hating. I ain't going to lie, but I think y'all can kind of just stamp, like, yeah, that's our guy. Especially with bro, either way, forget Caleb. Y'all rookie draft class. Oh, my goodness. Loveland genuinely, like, conversations. Hey, Loveland is ridiculous. He catches everything. Burden is, and then Monaga, Mono guy, however you say bro name, hooping. So I think y'all got a good foundation. Patriots had a good little rookie class this year in terms of standing up for them. Very interesting. Now, let's talk about the real deal part of the playoffs. Conference championships. Let's start it in the AFC. No Bo Nix. I do think this game is going to be tougher than what people think because Herbert didn't play good. Stroud didn't play good. It's kind of just what it is. The one thing I give the Patriots credit for, when people talk about the strength of schedule, just think about the Rams, how many games they dropped to teams that's worse than them. Patriots didn't really do that much this year, and they had a lot of experience playing against teams that's worse than them. Now, the thing that's going to be different this time is the Broncos are sneaky good because their quarterback is just not even like starting level in terms of Jarrett Stidham. But if he actually has a good game, he could go out there and be the best performance we've played against this week. Because it's going to be harder to prepare against a quarterback that you don't got really film on this year. It's going to be harder to do that. So we'll see. Sean Payton also has a very QB-friendly offense, regardless who's out there. So we'll see. The defense is going to still be very good. I don't think it's Texans level. I think overcoming Texas level is going to be very, very much preparing us for whoever we play in the conference championships, or if we want to look ahead. The scary part for the Patriots is if they start looking ahead, though. Because you see Drake Maye fumbling. That could be a problem, especially with the way that blocking been. I do think there's some fumbles on Drake Maye, some sacks. Majority of them are not. So, I think Drake Maye, regardless of the sacks being on him letting the ball be taken, I don't know if I can blame him too much for some of them Texans ones. They going straight for the ball. He has no clue anybody's there. And some of them are just instant sacks, too. So, I don't know. And it's not like it's just one. It's multiple people. But coming from the back, let's just move on. I'm going to say the Patriots. I think they kind of been prepared all season to play against teams that against games they should win. I think it's going to be a closer game than what people think, but I'm going to go Patriots. It's in Denver, by the way, so that should be interesting. It's going to be a weather game. I don't think Drake Maye is the greatest in weather, which is why Patriots being home is not the craziest thing for them, in my opinion. So going away is cool, but if they would have went to the Chargers, went to Texans, I think that would have been better for Drake Maye than playing at home because those are enclosed facilities. It's not going to have to deal with the weather. I think Drake Maye is not as good in weather. This is going to be another situation you probably got to play in weather, so we'll see. But I'm going to say here, and I think Drake Maye is going to, whether he plays good or bad, he's going to have drives where he's Drake Maye. So I think that's going to be the difference in the game. We'll see. And we've seen that you can score on this defense. I don't think that they scoring 30 points without Bo Nix. If they do, then we probably just deserve to lose, honestly. Next, we got the Rams and the Seahawks, part 3. Now, like I said, bro, when this brother plays the Rams, I don't know, bro. I do think Kenneth Walker, I don't know if Charbonnet going to be the only running back, but if it is, I have a little bit more faith in their run game. I do. I think that their run game started getting going towards the end of the season. They got confidence, so we'll see. Defensively, people was glazing Stafford for his performance. Go back and watch that last game, fourth quarter overtime. Stafford was not good in the fourth quarter overtime. They choked the game. I don't know. Like, they had the game signed, sealed, delivered. The game was over. They choked the game. So, like, people show the stats. Like, this is what I'm saying with these games with the stats of, like, the Drake Maye against the Texans, Drake Maye against the Chargers. You got the, it was another person that they were saying had a bad game. But, like, bro, at the end of the day, these stats is kind of overrated if you're not watching these games. If you watch these games, bro, Stafford, especially in the first half, he was fantastic. Second half, he slowed it down, especially fourth quarter and overtime. So, I don't know. Best quarterback in this game is by far Stafford because Darnold, even with all that being said about Stafford, first game, Darnold threw 4 picks and they still had a chance to win. It came down to the final play. Both games came down to the final play. You either had a game-winning field goal miss or a 2-point conversion. That was actually huge for the rest of the season, by the way. That game-winning field goal was huge for the rest of the season. So, I just kind of had a cookie crumbled. And, yeah, I'm going to say that Seahawks defense, if that defense can stay to this caliber, the Rams did not have a good week, back-to-back weeks, in my opinion, offensively. Tay seemed like he did get banged up today. They didn't really target Tay enough. Again, they were playing a lot of man on them. Puka was kind of struggling with it. When they did go zone, Puka was getting into the whole zones, getting going. Stafford was missing some plays. Very questionable. The Seahawks gonna get pressure. If they can have a more similar game defensively as they had the first game, and Darnold just have a more similar game to the second game than he did the first game, Seahawks should win. And they're at home. First game, if it goes like the first game, second game though, I got the Rams. I don't think they're gonna choke again, personally. They just stole that one. Seahawks, in my opinion, stole that one. The first one, the Seahawks gave it away. So it's really conflicting, in my opinion. I do think if it is close, I know I'd say it don't come down to the quarterback. It comes down to what the better team is. But this one is genuinely close. I think McVay versus McDonald is a crazy matchup. The defense versus the Rams offense is a crazy matchup. I think the X factor in this game is going to come down to the Seahawks offense versus the Rams defense. I think you can take advantage of the Rams defense. Personally, it's tough. It's tough. I think I am going to go with the Seahawks, man. I think I'm going to go with Seahawks in this game. I think they get them in part 2, and the Super Bowl is going to end up being, for me, Baby Belichick versus the Patriots. Hey, man, that's cinema. Honestly, bro, kind of was going for the Bears in that game. I won't lie, bro. Just think about Ben Johnson versus Mike Vrabel, the 2 biggest coaching candidates going into this year. And then you have Caleb Williams and Drake Maye. They've been kind of being comparisons. They was in high school. Whoo, that could have been a face of the league type situation, man. Winner that get the face of the league, shaking chains. But yeah, we'll see. I'm a little bit more confident in AFC. That's kind of what's making me scared. Like, I was uneasy about the Chargers. I was uneasy about the Texans. I feel like I'm too confident about this Broncos game. But this is a game we shouldn't be losing to an old backup quarterback. I've dealt with this before. I don't want to deal with it again. So we can handle that. Further ado, though, it's a video. No more talking. I'm out of here.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah!